welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight. Our topic is Cambodia, and anything that you want to ask me about Cambodia, please do. Meanwhile, I guess I'll start us off with, I was watching Frugal Wanderer's show today, one of his shows, and he mentioned something that, yeah, I totally agree with. And that is that if you think that you just want to come to Cambodia to save money, which you do, the cost of living is significantly less than living in Western countries such as the US. And so if that's what you want to do, but you want everything to still be Western, in particular your mindset, you're probably not going to be happy. Okay. The whole idea of, living in the rat race and keeping up with the Joneses and saying hi to Mr. Piggy. There's Mr. Piggy. Get down. It's kind of like that stress in the beginning can be hard to let go because we're so used to living that way, and we're so used to that stress that it feels strange not to have the stress, right? So when you first move to Cambodia, there's a lot of things that are strange, and over some time, you get used to it. You get used to things being done a different way. We have the expression, there's more than one way to skin a cat, which, being a cat lady is I'm not sure I like that saying much anymore, but it is what it is, right? And so you learn to take things at a slower pace. You learn that if it doesn't get done today, it can get done tomorrow. And I think we're caught up in calling that procrastination. And I said, like if things aren't done fast and right away, you're procrastinating, you're lazy. And it's just a different pace of life. People aren't worried about getting something done fast. And so if it doesn't get done until tomorrow, then so be it. They have a saying here, and that's step by step. And I kind of think of that like in the West when we talk about taking baby steps, or even sometimes kind of like the 2 steps forward, 1 step back, where that's a negative thing in the US, right? It's like, oh, I feel like, every time, I take 2 steps forward, I'm taking 1 back, where here it's like if you took 2 steps forward and 1 step back, you still made 1 step of progress, right? And so they see things more like that here, and if you're willing to adapt and adjust, then yeah, you can be happy here for sure. And it does cost a lot less money. There was another creator. I just saw the thumbnail. I didn't actually, and it's not somebody I normally watch, so I don't remember their name, but they were talking about how they save thousands of dollars in their medications. Because in the US, medications are so overpriced. And here, not only are the like prescription medicines, they cost less, but also you don't need the prescription to get them. So as long as you know what your doctor has prescribed for you, and maybe whatever amount of time you need, like once a year, every 6 months, that your doctor does a checkup, right? There's doctors here that can run a blood test and see your levels and things, and make sure everything is okay. So if you know what the prescription is, you could just buy your prescription here, and we're talking like a pill. And I didn't watch his show. He'd probably give you like real numbers for like his medication and why he's saving thousands. But I know that in the US, sometimes one pill is like $20, and it might be like 25 cents here, That being said, there are some counterfeit medications, but if you know to beware of that, and you go to a reputable pharmacy, then it shouldn't be a problem. Any questions? I do have some news stories lined up, a lot of cultural news, a little bit of crime. We could jump into that, unless you have a question about something. About Cambodian culture or the way of life here, what it's like to live here, what it's like to be a tourist and to visit. You don't have to. I mean, I live here, right? And I love it. But even if you don't want to like move your whole life, you can still come and visit. It's a great place. There's so many things. Of course, there's Angkor Wat. Mumsy says not yet. Not yet. What? But yeah, you can come and visit. There's Angkor Wat and all the temples, but there's also a lot of natural. Like if you're a bird watcher, there's a lot of good bird watching areas that you can go to. Wildlife sanctuaries where you can go bird watching. If you like mountain biking, there are companies and tour companies. Oh, no questions yet. Okay. There's companies that can take you out mountain biking. On the coast, there are beaches and lots of fresh seafood. I believe that there's one company that started like growing grapes to make wine. There are some liquors like rum that are made here, like local brands. You can go have a homestay. There's companies that and travel agencies that have organized homestays where you actually go live with a Cambodian in the countryside and see what that's like. Mumsy says yes, it's a very interesting place to visit. So different, some good and some not so good. Yeah, that's true. Which is true of anywhere, Yeah, there's beaches, there's mountains and lakes, and waterfalls. There's also like a lot of luxury stuff. People think of Cambodia as a third world country. It's not anymore. When you get out into the countryside, yes, you could probably think like that. This is Piggy. Hello, Mr. Piggy. But there's particularly in Phnom Penh and also in Siem Reap, there's a lot of luxury resorts. There's water parks, there's cinemas. Now that's what they called it. Like in the US, we say theaters, but they kind of adopted the European word saying cinemas. But the movie theaters, they have all the latest blockbusters. And if you want to like go to the VIP with the reclining lounge chairs, it's like between $11 and $15. If you just want to go to the regular seats, it's like $2 to $3 to go see a movie. Yeah, there's a couple of big water parks with wave pools and everything. and lots of slides and stuff. There's a safari world, which is basically like a zoo, but there's also shows with trained animals and stuff. And it's got really nice enclosures for the animals. So it's very habitat oriented. So that's a nice thing to do, especially if you have kids. There's some zip lines, a couple of zip lines. There's one that goes through like a gibbon park up near Angkor Wat. There's elephants. There's two main elephant sanctuaries, one in Mamdekiri and one in Ratnakiri. There's Krache, which has the dolphins, the Mekong Irrawaddy dolphins. And you can go on like a small fishing boat kind of thing, a small boat, and go out and see the dolphins. There's the floating villages. They call them floating villages, but they're mostly on stilts, and they're areas that flood during the rainy season. There's kayaking, both down in Kampot and up in Stung Treng. Yeah, there's fine dining. There's lots of skyscrapers with sky bars. Yeah, it's like whatever you want. And if you want the girly bars, they're here too. Some people like to go to the islands, in particular, Koh Rong Sam Lom. And if you go out there, they do have pretty much year round, I think, the phosphorus in the water where it lights up at night. Yeah, there's that. Mumsy says she was looking at some pictures the other day from her first visit and the last visit. So many changes and improvements. Yes, the development is happening so fast. In fact, now we have our first freeway that they call an expressway that was built, and it goes between Phnom Penh and Sihanoukville. And so that shortens that. It was normally like a 4 to 5 hour drive, and now it's like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Yeah. All righty. Well, how about we look at some news stories then? And then if you think of anything, we can pause and I can answer any questions. So first up, I've got a couple of stories here about this. So the Khmer wedding is, sometimes it can last 3 days. And sometimes it can be all kind of crammed into one day, but there's very specific rituals that happen. And so there's been some controversy going on. And so the Ministry of what is it? Culture and Fine Arts, they've put out this announcement that these wedding traditions need to be preserved, and people need, don't add modern elements into the weddings. You need to keep them traditional. Okay. And here's a picture of one particular ceremony that's been causing, I guess, a lot of talk about it. It's called the Bok Liek ceremony. There's a couple other names it can go by as well, but most common is Bok Liek or Bom Liek. And yeah, anyway, so then this one is pretty much the same story with a different picture. And I wanted to show this picture because Cambodia does have, well, it's a Buddhist country. There's no separation of church and state. It is a Buddhist country. There are a lot of Cambodian Muslims that are called Cham. And so their culture is also very much respected. And so apparently somebody, an imam with the Cham Islams, they were upset about this part of the wedding ceremony that has, somebody dressed in the Muslim clothes representing the Cham in the ceremony. And so sometimes this is done by a comedian that's just dressed up, right? They're not an actual Cham person. And so this imam was like, oh, they're disparaging us, they're ridiculing us. And so then the Ministry of Culture was saying, oh, we need to preserve the traditions. So then the former prime minister came out and he said that we need to have religious harmony after a row about, that they're mimicking the Muslims, right? And he had a really good explanation about this, okay? So apparently a video of a performance circulated online, okay? Social media, it's online. And apparently the performer used impolite language, okay? And so he went, the singer that was at issue gave a clarification, offended, right? They didn't want to, they're not trying to offend Khmer Muslims, right? And so Hun Sen said, I ask Khmer Muslims to clearly understand this point because it is a long-standing tradition and custom. In the scene, there is no insult or contempt. On the contrary, it carries deep meaning about ethnic and religious unity. Okay. He said that historically, Muslims had supported Khmer families during their wedding journeys by water. Okay. And then he said that at the weddings of his 5 children, they all had these Muslim performers, as was customary. Okay. He says it's not about an ethnic or religious conflict. That Cambodia does not have conflict, right? However, I guess that there, the dissatisfaction stemmed from certain words and gestures by some actors that they're saying was disrespectful toward Allah. Okay. And he said that he hoped that the solidarity among the races and religions in Cambodia would continue to grow. Yeah, so this guy, Othman Hassan, who is a senior minister in charge of special missions and a representative of Khmer Muslims, he had written on social media that the reactions of some Khmer Muslims were not a rejection of Khmer traditions and customs. He added, there's nothing wrong with dressing in traditional Muslim attire and behaving playfully. Okay, so they're, everybody's trying to like say, no, this is okay. We're not offending Muslims. We're actually including, it's being inclusive. Hey, Frugal, I mentioned you in the very beginning when I was talking and about the mindset, that if you try to keep your Western mindset when you move to Cambodia, you're moving to save money, but you still have the same mindset that it can, you're not going to be happy. I had a whole, I'm not going to repeat everything, obviously, but I said it in the beginning. I gave you a shout out. All right. So let's see what I've got next. Oh, this is just a little bit of crime. Thought it was interesting that a druggie went around and he smashed 9 streetlights. 9, but they caught him. So good. Next up. Okay. So if you like cruising, I actually have 2 stories here. This is, I guess, the Seabourn Encore cruise ship, docked in Sihanoukville and brought over 500 foreign tourists. Now, from what I understand, when these cruise ships come, they usually just stay for one day, and people can sign up for excursions, and they can go to Bokor Mountain, they can go to Kampot, they can go to Kep, and there's pepper plantations, there's a cave temple, there's the crab market in Kep. So there's all these different things that you can do as day excursions. So you don't get to see Angkor Wat, you don't get to see Phnom Penh, but you do get to see Cambodia. So if you like cruising, I want you to consider coming over to, book a cruise that will include Cambodia. And here's another story. There we go. 730 tourists arrive. And this one is the Seven Seas Explorer. You can see it's a huge cruise ship. And again, people go on these day excursions. Let me see if it gives any information about that. My computer's a little bit slow. It's my computer, not the Wi-Fi. Tourists spent one day in Cambodia. They went to Thailand and then went to Vietnam after that. So they get a nice welcome ceremony when they arrive. So everybody gets a picture with the Apsara dancers. There's the captain. Oh, they're giving everybody a chroma too. How nice. Let's see what you guys are saying. Frugal says, I was finally able to take Sopal to see Far Away Close to You. We went to the VIP theater and she loved it. Oh, excellent. Excellent. And usually, this is good news because usually they don't put the Khmer movies in the VIP. They only put the blockbusters in the VIP. And so the fact that they're showing it in the VIP and that it's still showing means that it's making money, because believe me, the day it stops making money, they stop screening it. They review the sales every night. So it's not like when we were growing up and, the Sunday newspaper, you could see the schedule of movies for the week and it didn't change for the whole week, right? No, they change the schedule every day if it's not making money. They had about 20 people in there. Excellent. I mean, that's almost full for the VIP. Wow. Oh, that makes me so happy. I'm so happy. Excellent. That's excellent news. And hopefully she'll tell her friends to go see it as well. So next, okay, I've got an animal story for you. The Saurus crane has, the numbers have surged. So the conservation efforts are being successful. So that's good. It's the world's tallest flying bird. And this particular picture is in Kampot province in a protected area. So 98 Saurus cranes. It's one of the world's rarest flying birds. So that's what I was saying earlier. If you like bird watching, it's like good. That's good. So excellent. The cranes are doing good. Let's see what else I have for you. Another environmental story. This one's about the mangroves. So I think people coming from a Western country, we tend to know about how important the mangroves are for the environment and for the coast. And you have a lot of breeding that goes on in mangroves, and it also helps a buffer, for the land and the ocean. There's like a buffer area, and like in Florida and in the South in America, or in the US, they got rid of the mangroves, and then they realized how important they were, because then the land just started washing away. So somebody was illegally encroaching in the mangroves, and so the Ministry of Environment condemned it and got on it. So good for them for taking some action to help protect the mangroves. Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay. So another good thing the Cambodian government is doing is they are protecting the food. So there is no Food and Drug Administration, which is probably a good thing, because I think they kind of overstep, and they've like protected companies that do a lot of harmful things in our food. And so here in particular, here's a picture of a school lunch program. And so they are supporting healthy and affordable food reforms. So that's good. That's good to see. Good action by the government. Okay, next up. So I don't know if you guys, like in the US and around the world, have paid much attention that Donald Trump started this new peace board of peace. So kind of, I guess, an alternative to the UN. And so Hun Manet, that's our prime minister. He's in New York now, or at least he was at the time of this. And so Cambodia is a member of the Board of Peace, and he's talking to everyone that he can about the situation with Thailand and how Thailand has, they've encroached on our land, on the land. It's not just the border. They've taken Cambodian land, and what they've done is they've set up like shipping containers to, it's like build a wall, right? I mean, they've built a wall with shipping containers, so Cambodians cannot access their homes, and of course, then they just pillaged everything. But anyway, he's saying that the ceasefire is fragile. It's not a done deal. It's fragile. And so he wants to really bring attention to that situation, and I guess hoping that the Board of Peace might help Cambodia continue with peace. Mumsy said that's a good program to help children with the food lunches and stuff. Frugal says, I think he made it just to have an excuse for more naps. The think back, which one? Surprised Cambodia could afford the entry fee. Yeah, I think there was some mention of like waiving fees for some countries. Mumsy says she still believes in NATO. Yeah, I think NATO is important for the North Atlantic, Which story to make more naps? There's the food, the mangroves, the saurus cranes, the tourists. I'm not sure. No fees for Cambodia. Yeah, they were waived for us. So because it's like $1 billion. All right, next up, we've got, so this, okay, every day there's story after story after story about more of those online scam centers being shut down. And so this is kind of a summary. I think maybe this year, because we're still in February, so maybe it's January, February, 2,700 sites that they have gone and cleared in the war on cybercrime. And believe me, I know when America had its war on drugs, well, there's still drugs, right? But they are cracking down in Cambodia. They are cleaning this up, which is good. And quite frankly, I knew that it was going on. Not a fan of it happening, but I knew that it was happening. And the number and all the different countries of people that have been enslaved in them. Kenya, there's a story. I didn't include the story, but Kenya is suing somebody. Can't remember who they're not suing Cambodia. I don't know who they're suing, but for the number of Kenyans that, and they're trying to arrange like a rescue operation or like a retrieval, to get the people back to Kenya that had come here thinking they were going to get a job. I've heard of South Koreans, Japanese, people from Myanmar, people from Thailand, the Philippines, but I hadn't heard of people from Kenya being trafficked. So, and of course, people from China. So yeah, it's good. Good job for the government to be doing this. Frugal first. Frugal says the U.S. president was seen. He was napping at the first peace meeting. I missed that. Thank you for clarifying. Okay. Mumsy says Trump just wanted the money, 8 billion entry. Yeah. Wow. Frugal says, I'm glad that they are cracking down on it all. Exactly. That's good. What else we got here? Just a few more. So here's just a couple of crime women. This woman sold jewelry, but then she blamed it on a burglar, right? So she told everybody that her jewelry was stolen when she had actually sold it. Let's see if we have any details. What kind of jewelry? Gold and platinum jewelry worth $2,500. And she said that it happened at her shop at 7 p.m. But the police, they suspected she was giving false testimony. So after additional questioning, she confessed that she had sold the items to get money for her parents' medical treatment. And she was afraid that her husband would find out and blame her. So she fabricated the story about a burglary. So she just got educated. She didn't have to go to jail or anything. That's nice. I like it when not everything has to go fill up the prisons and the jails. I'm sure she was re-educated and had to sign a paper saying that she's not going to do it again. So whoops. Sure. Sorry. It's got to happen at least once, right? This is the lady. Okay. And I thought I'd throw this one in case there's any new people that haven't seen it before. Again, rather than sending people to jail. I mean, there's lots of youth gangsters that they rounded up and sent to jail. Okay. They do send people to jail. Drug dealers and things like this, and murderers and embezzlers and stuff, and fraudsters, they go to jail. All right. But in this case here, you've got the teenagers that are having to apologize to their parents. And what they did is they posted provocative content on social media aimed at inciting their rivals. Oh, good. We've got pictures. Excellent. Their messages said things like, if you don't want to die, don't touch the Tra Pang Trok kid. And if you want to live, don't come to Tra Vang village. So they're trying to act like gangsters. Okay. Yeah. And so, yeah, they had to sign good conduct agreements. There you go. Just like with the other lady. And say they're sorry and be publicly humiliated. They're lucky if they did. A lot of times they'll shave their hair. But I guess they escaped that punishment. So they're very lucky. And their contracts, get this, their contracts emphasize the importance of working hard, attending school daily, and refraining from improper social media use, especially posting immoral content. There you go. So that's how we handle it here in Cambodia. Then I got a couple things that maybe Frugal participated in. We'll see. Change the picture. Oh, okay. Yeah. You're glad. I did. Thank you. Okay. You reported your stalker to the tourist police this week. Oh, excellent. So I know that was like a year ago, but he started up again. Did you talk about that on one of your shows? Because I missed that one if you did. So first up here in cultural events, there was the puppet parade up in Siem Reap. Look at that. Isn't that great? That must be an otter in honor of the otter that died, probably. Oh, well, and so the theme was Wild Parade. So they were celebrating the amazing wildlife from famous species to rare and endangered animals. So there's an elephant, a dove for peace. No, I want to say toucan, but it's probably a horn. There's a hornbill and the greater adjunct. And one's got this thing like this extra beak part on, and so it's one or the other. Alligator, or maybe that's a gecko. Tick-caw, tick-caw. That's what they sound like. There's the otter. There's a deer. There's some form of monkey. I mean, it might in Siem Reap it might be a gibbon instead of the macaque. And then some children were also, look at that. Oh, how fun. Lots of tourists enjoying it. So there was the puppet parade. He showed back up during a stream, caught a bunch of screenshots and emails, even got his Facebook profile, and it was full of CP. Wow. Well, good for you. Good for you. He's not going to last long. If that's good. So next up is another cultural event. It was the Kite Festival. So Frugal, did you get to go to the Kite Festival? This is what the traditional kites are like. Now, I've been told, I haven't heard it, that on the tail, there's actually like a whistle. So as the kite is going through the air blows the whistle. And so they make noise. 2,000 years the kites. They've made kites. And there was 138 kite flyers from across the country that came. And there was a 3-day contest. Yeah. So Frugal, any, whoops, get rid of the ad. Oops, what happened? There's that. Am I back on? What? Oh, there we go. Whoa. Hey, yo, yo, yo. Fools in the house. You were laid up in bed all weekend. Oh, no, you're right. You did say that that you'd caught something when you were in Phnom Penh. So you didn't get to go out to the kite festival? Oh, my gosh. So sorry that you missed that. You know. But yeah, we're just traveling fools. Why are you always coming in right at the end? I'm glad that you come in, you know, but yeah, that's it. I mean, unless anybody has any questions about Cambodia, I'm happy to answer them, but that's all the news stories that I have for you. And Traveling Fools, I guess, was busy. He's been a busy beaver and didn't have his trivia this week. I saw the post from Friction Vixen because I teach a class during the time. Sometimes when I get home, there's still one or two more rounds left. Yeah, so Traveling Fools and Frugal are both in the description. So you can get to their channels and check them out. I highly, highly recommend that. Time changes in a couple of weeks. Spring forward. Oh my goodness. Seems like it was just changed to fall back. Wow. Extra sleep for Mumsy. Well, that's good. Hey, Gibbo popping in. Good to see you. And don't forget, I'll Be Frank is Gibbo. He's also in the description. So Frugal is here in Cambodia, and so you can just, life in Cambodia. Traveling Fools he's got the Sunday night trivia, but he's also got a show on Friday night that's called Abby Normal, and talk about all kind of Art Bell type subjects, And then Gibbo, I'll Be Frank, is really concentrating more now on the missing persons. And as I mentioned last night, I'm going to really try and support that more. Not for Gibbo, but for the families. Kidding with you. Of course, I want to support you, just like you've been, an OG here. You have Kevin Kagan Klein's polygraph transcripts. Ooh. And Traveling Fool said you had company in town over the weekend. Well, good. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I'll be looking forward to that. So yeah, Gibbo does true crime in general, but then also the missing persons and those families that are taking the time to be with him and share about their loved ones. I want to help support. Those families are going to be looking to see how many views, did it get, and were there any comments and things like that. So I always try to support that way. Yeah, forget Gibbo. I know. I know you well enough that I could tease you like that. Yeah. So anything else exciting? Let's see, this term for teaching is almost finished. There's about maybe 3 more weeks until finals, and then it will be a new term. So that's nice. That's going well. Last weekend I did sell at Walk Street, but it was nice. I was finally able to get a booth, but the booth was not in a good area. I mean, it was down at one particular end instead of kind of in the middle and like right on the street. It was kind of back from the street, and so it didn't get as much foot traffic. And so yeah, I didn't sell a lot, but I got some good pictures. And then for Sunday, I don't know. Okay. The video I can see the video is kind of buffering a little bit. Sometimes when the video does that, the audio still works. So I don't know. Anyway, so I did that on Saturday, and then, so I still had food I could sell on Sunday, but I didn't go on Sunday because that would be $10 for the booth and $5 each way for the tuk-tuk. So that's another 10. So that's $20. I'd be out without even, before even selling anything. So it's like, I just ate all the food every day. I think I have 2 more little sandwiches left. Everything else is done. I've eaten everything else. I didn't eat the hot dogs because I could still, like, if I do it next weekend or something, then I could still, the hot dogs are in the they're still sealed in the package in the refrigerator, so I can do those again. Probably have to buy new bread, but yeah. So that's that. Did that. What else is going on with me? I've got 2 new students that I'm tutoring that are both in high school. 773 subs. Yay. Almost to 1,000. I got to get my watch hours up. I had like 1,700 watch hours. So I was like more than halfway to the 3,000 watch hours that I need. And, but it goes back 365 days. And I had one particular video that I had done that got like a whole lot of time, watch hours, that went out of that 365 days, right? So then now it dropped down to like 1,200, and I think I'm back up to 1,300, So the watch hours, hey, there's Mama Kitty. I didn't know she was in the room. If you on this side, if you saw, oh, well, here she is. You say, hi, Mama Kitty. This is Mama Kitty. Say, hi, Mama Kitty. Yours keeps going down. I know. I mean, like if you had a really good spot, where you earned a lot of hours, but then 365 days goes by, and then anyway, yeah. So I have 2 new students. They're in high school, and they're both English literature. So that's really good. I love teaching English literature, and so I'm making sure she doesn't knock over my fan. Okay, she got to where she was going and didn't knock over the fan. Yeah. So that's about it. Teaching and tutoring, and I got a friend that's I used to work with at the Riverside restaurant, and I was doing marketing, and he was like doing management, and he's coming back to Cambodia. So I told him he could stay, a couple nights in the Airbnb room, which means I have to get that kind of cleaned up. I went down there today. I stripped the bed and the towels and put them in the laundry room, but I already had clean sheets and stuff. So put those in the room. I took I have a sanitizer spray. So I sprayed various places in the room. I sprayed the mattress and the pillows and stuff, making them read good books. Absolutely. One of my students wrote an essay, because I asked him, I said, well, what are you reading in school or whatever? We can kind of parallel with that. And he said that it wasn't a school assignment, but he had read the book, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, which is like a Nazi Holocaust type of thing, where a German boy whose father works at the concentration camp befriends a boy that's in the concentration camp through the fence. Anyway, so he wrote his first draft, which I didn't, I gave a little bit of instruction, but not too much, because I just kind of wanted to get a baseline as far as where we're starting. And so we reviewed that, and I showed him where he can make improvements. So he's doing a second draft now. The other one, I had some excerpts prepared, from The Old Man and the Sea by Hemingway, Che Guevara's autobiography that he did about Bolivia, and then an excerpt from Gandhi's autobiography, and then there's several, but the one that she chose was Machiavelli's The Prince, an excerpt from that, and so she wrote her first draft, and now I told her she needs to expand on literary devices, and I meet with her twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so Tuesday I reviewed everything. I told her, you need to add more, what kind of literary devices is he using and everything. And so she sent me a message today saying, tomorrow when we meet, instead of revising the essay now, having that revised, she wants me to instruct her more on literary devices so she knows what to look for. I said, yes, perfect, absolutely. So I'll be doing that step with Motorcycle Diary. Oh, yes, that's the one, Traveling Fools. Motorcycle Diaries, thank you. I forgot the name of it. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, the movie was good. I bet that would be an amazing movie. Gibbo says, you're reading Kagan Klein's transcript tonight and hoping you don't hate create comes in with me. She's a Richard Allen innocent guy, but I don't do politics. Yeah. Oh, did I miss one there? Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'll probably be sleeping, and because you're not that far behind me in time. But I'll watch the replay because that sounds really interesting. I mean, my personal opinion on the Delphi murders, which is what he's talking about, Abby and Libby, is that they weren't killed by a single person right, at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I think they were killed in the middle of the night by more than one person. That's myself. Now, whether or not Richard Allen is one of those people, I don't know. 200 points for Traveling Fools. Oh, yeah, for knowing Motorcycle Diaries. Yeah. It's just an excerpt, because when they take an exam, they will be given an excerpt from literature, and what they have to do is write an analysis, and not just like a book report, but almost, and as I was explaining to her, it's more like you're analyzing the author and the choices that they made than just, analyzing the story itself, which is part of it. You want to include, what it's about, but it's more about the author and their choices. You disagree, so you're not my friend anymore. Gibbo. We can agree to disagree. Whatever happened to that saying? No, I mean, now it's like, oh, if you disagree with me, then I'm gonna cancel you. I'm gonna go no contact. You disagree with me, so I'm going no contact. Hey, when I was growing up, it's like we can agree to disagree. Woohoo, says Traveling Fools. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on in my life. Got the pets, take care of them every day, you know, do my tutoring and my teaching. I love teaching because that's essay writing, and there's a textbook for that. And so we just, go through the textbook. But I'm really, I'm an animated kind of teacher. If you couldn't tell, you know, I'm doing charades. I'm acting stuff out. I'm saying like where things come from, where like words or expressions. Um, got an emoji from Gibbo. It's a girl. I can't see what the emoji's like doing. Is it like going like that? It looks like maybe. Um, yeah, but I love teaching, writing, and then the English literature. I love it. It's great. So uh, tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Uh, maybe we'll do some games. Some movie trivia. Maybe. Gibbo says he can be a girl. I am not going to comment. Could be anything we want to be, right? Yeah. So, yeah, we'll have fun tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a break, and we'll have fun. Hugs everyone, Mumsy says. And before anyone goes, let me remind you that love transcends time and space. So wherever and whenever you're watching this, I love you. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for spending time with me. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. And until then, catch you later.
In the heart of Cambodia, where stories unfold,